Welcome to the Folklorama at Home, the virtual experience brought to you by the Manitoba Government Safe at Home program. My name is Tanya, and I'll be your tour guide as we check out cultures from around the world, including some in our own backyard. If you would like to chat with us during this experience, feel free to do so in the chat bar. Otherwise, grab your passport, sit back, relax, as today we head to Trinidad and Tobago with our friend Mr. Clyde. Hello, Mr. Clyde.
How are you doing?
I am so good. How are you?
Pretty good, yeah.
Now, because we can't travel to the Caribbean islands right now, you are our vessel there.
Yeah, I'm going to
essentially.
transport it from there to here.
Exactly. So
Yep.
tell us all about you. Where did you come from? How did you get to be in this nice warm country?
Yeah, actually, I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, the two last islands at the tip of South America, 8 miles off the north coast of Venezuela. I came to this country way back in the 60s, mid-60s.
Okay.
So basically, this is my country more so than Trinidad and Tobago.
And what
Well,
brought you to Canada?
Yeah, well, I had a brother here, and he was quite into education and stuff, so he thought it would be a good thing for me to sort of get myself out of Trinidad and come here and further my studies in that.
That's fantastic.
So,
Now, you are a steel drum master. Can I call you that?
well,
No?
yeah, I guess.
Pretty good. You're pretty good at it. So how did you get involved with the steel drums?
Well, actually, way back in time, back in Trinidad, actually, the steel drums were like a taboo thing, and you were not supposed to be around it. But then it has transitioned from then into schools now. So you got little kids, 6, 7 years old, who could play me under the table because they're so good.
Yeah.
So it is the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago.
Wow.
And it is also international, but it's not marketed in a regular marketing way.
And how did you begin to play them?
Well, when you're told you're not supposed to do something, that's how it all started. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you teach yourself, or did you have a teacher?
Yeah, actually, all my musical career I've taught myself here,
Really?
and I do play all the other instruments.
That's amazing. And how many different versions of the steel drum are there?
Well, in a full steel band, you would have like about 6 to 8 sections.
Wow.
It's just like a regular symphony,
Okay.
where you got the melodies and the cellos and the bass and stuff like that. So it's set up in the same way.
Now, I've seen you perform often in Folklorama. You've been with our family from, I think, since you were 10, because now you're 26, so many, many years. Why do you love doing what you do?
Well, when I first came here, actually, it was a way of sort of passing time, apart from studying.
Of course.
So, like the other guys from Trinidad also, on Sundays we'd get together and just jam around. By that time we didn't have any instruments, so they used to just use the kitchen utensils, the pots and stuff, and
Wow.
and there was a box guitar, acoustic guitar lying around. I knew a couple of chords, so we had sort of a jam session there, and then it sort of grew and grew and grew.
And where are the steel drums from?
Originally from Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
Back in the mid-40s, when the guys were out supporting the war cause through England,
Right.
and those who were left back, they used to, on the evenings, gather around, just to shoot the breeze, talk about the day's events. And that's where the calypso came from. They would talk about each other, make fun of each other, and then they broke it into melodies.
Oh.
But they didn't have no supporting equipment or
Right.
instruments, so they just picked up anything. And we used to get salted biscuits from England that came to take about 4 months from England on the boats, ships, and they came in barrels. And when the biscuits were finished, they discarded the barrels.
Okay.
So on one of these evenings, a guy named Spree was on the way to meet the congregation, to pass the evening, and they couldn't find something, and in the distance was a barrel. So he picked it up, put it on his shoulder, tapped it, and made a sound. Then for some unknown reason, spun it around, tapped it, but he got a different sound.
Oh.
So he was a bit musical, so he thought maybe if he went home, he didn't say anything to anybody and he experimented with it. And the idea was to separate the sounds. So he found a way to separate the sounds, and that was the birth of the steel drums. The only transition was from the biscuit drum to the oil drum.
Okay. And what was the difference?
The difference was the oil drum was made of steel, and the
Oh.
biscuit drum was made with a sort of an inferior material.
Oh, okay.
So the sound is entirely different.
That's amazing. And what are you going to teach us today?
Well, I could teach you a couple of tunes on the steel drums there.
I am excited. I
Okay.
have watched you perform for years at the pavilions, and I've, of course, seen you at many of the different Folklorama events that we've had, and you've wowed everyone. So maybe let's get started.
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, Clyde, I am so excited. We have these beautiful steel drums. Now, what is the difference between each of them?
Okay, this set here is called the alto or second pans, and they are used as the rhythm to the melody, which is over this one, which is the tenor or soprano.
Okay.
So this plays the melody, and this supports the melody. Just like a rhythm guitar, and you sing,
Right.
and you play the chords, so you'll be playing the chords.
Ooh, I'm excited, and I hope I don't mess this up. At the front, now, everyone always usually sees the front, but this cool shot behind us, we get to see what's actually inside. And how does one figure out which note is which?
Yeah, in this set, like my lowest note, like each section is a note. Like when they made the steel drums, remember I mentioned they had to find a way to separate the songs?
Right.
So they found that way by a thing called grooving.
Oh,
So actually to make a steel drum, they go through about 9 manual steps from a barrel to a finished instrument.
okay.
And the grooving is here, and within the grooving is the note.
Now, are these hand done when they're made?
No.
No,
This-
okay.
this is, and it's all done manually, nothing computerized.
Wow.
So they go through, get a drum. I'll quickly tell you how they make it actually.
Please, yeah.
Okay, so they get a drum, and they will use the bottom part of the drum, not the top part, because the top part has the 2 holes filling the oil. So they use the bottom. And then they take a big sledgehammer and sink it down about 8 inches. After it's done, they cut it to the required length. This is called a skirt.
Okay.
And in this case, the skirt is this length. And the tenors is a little shorter. And in a full steel band, the bass actually uses the whole barrel,
Wow.
the entire barrel. So as you go deep into a steel band, the notes get bigger, but then you have more drums. So the guy who's playing the bass, a simple bass would be like a 6 bass. And on the bass, you would have 3 notes on each. So that'd be a total of 18 notes.
Okay. And how many
Okay.
notes are in here?
This set has 30 notes. So it's
30.
Yeah, 2.5
Wow.
octaves. Yeah. So I start out with a low F and go up to a high B.
Okay.
So I have low F, mid F, and high F.
Wow.
Okay?
Do you
And
ever have to tune them?
yes,
Oh, okay.
like
How would you do that?
all these little marks here. Actually, I have a plastic hammer in my bag. I usually touch it up myself.
Okay.
Because once I was doing
Like
a present.
literally hammer?
Yeah. I was doing a presentation in a school, and I told the kids, touch the drum. And this particular girl, I don't know what she was thinking, but she whacked it so hard, my note almost fell off.
Oh, no.
So then I had to go tune it back. So you just tap it gently, and you could hear, just like when you turn the keys on a guitar for the
yeah.
string, you hear the notes changing.
Wow.
So and then that's it. But one of the things in making the steel drum, what gives it the sound, it's heat. The steel drum is burnt first,
Okay.
and that gives it the musical sound.
And how do they heat it?
They just build a bonfire and throw it on it
Wow.
and burn it. But they cannot throw water on it to cool it off. It has to cool off by itself back to room temperature. Because you know what happens if you throw water on steel?
No.
It freezes, it seizes it up. So then at that point, will become a garbage can.
Okay.
So So after it's come back to room temperature, then they proceed to tune it. So the first set of tuning, they just sort of bring it in tune because to protect it and give it this finish, they take it to the chrome factory, and it's dipped into chrome.
Wow.
So the chrome is over 212 degrees Fahrenheit. So that expands the metal, and then it goes out of tune.
Okay.
So then that's where the plastic hammer comes in, and it just bring it back into tune. And nowadays they actually tune them to like different tuning instruments like strobe lights and stuff like that.
Wow.
And to get the real sound. And this set is actually over 20 years old, and it sounds like it was just made yesterday.
How long do they usually last for?
Since they start chroming them, they last very long. As I said, this one is about 20 years
20 years
old.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both of them. Actually, they were made at the same time.
Oh, wow. That's
And they were made in Winnipeg.
in Winnipeg?
Yeah.
Is there a factory in Winnipeg that makes
No,
these?
no,
Or-
no,
okay.
no. A guy was
You never
passing
know.
through. So he,
It's Winnipeg, you never know.
Yeah, yeah. No,
And-
they're very difficult to find, actually, even in Trinidad and Tobago.
Really?
And they're very expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are these things too?
These are called, we call them sticks, and you guys refer to them as mallets. So in order for it to work, you have to use sticks. At the tip of the sticks, they have surgical rubber. We used to use the inner tube of a bicycle, but the red tube, not the black tube.
Okay.
The black tube had a tapping sound, the red didn't.
Got it.
But then they got a little more technical and they started to use surgical tubing.
Okay.
So, and the tube, it doesn't unravel and it doesn't wear away.
Okay.
So, but you need it to get the sound. Now, if you don't have it and use the bare stick, then you'll get a headache for sure. So,
Yeah, for sure.
so that's what, and one of the things with the steel drums again is basically an outdoor instrument. So like for carnival time, you go down to the islands, you would hear music below every tree. So they practice out in the yards and stuff because it is so loud.
Yeah.
And a steel band, they have different categories, like a large, medium, small. So a large steel band would have like 100 players.
100 players?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you'd have like 20 players playing a set of this.
Right. That's amazing.
They'll be all playing the same thing. Then you'll have another.
Does everybody have to be the same tune though? Right?
Well,
When you're all playing together, or does that make it musical and magical?
well, what it is the music is arranged. It's arranged just like in a symphony.
Okay.
So you have the melody, and then they have counter melody chords and different things. So this would have a particular arrangement to do with that particular song. You know, and you could use any kind of top 40 song or calypso, soca as we call it, and that's big around carnival time,
I bet. I
which
bet
is
it
a
is.
big celebration in Trinidad.
Will you play a song for us later?
Yes, I will.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. So teach me how to play the steel pan drums. This is so cool.
Yeah, okay, so I'll give you a couple of chords here. We try a little bit of stir it up,
Okay.
and we'll see if
Stir it up
Tanya could actually stir it up.
Can I stir it up? Make a great margarita.
So she'll be playing the chords, and I'll play the melody.
Tanya will attempt to play the
So
chords,
you
and he
think
will
you
play
could
the
handle
melody.
that,
Okay,
Tanya?
think so.
Okay,
Do you want me to try it?
yeah.
Okay. picture.
Thank you very
Wow.
much.
So the sound that comes out is just beautiful. Is it just because of the drum and it's like raised from the bottom, or?
Well, it's a type of instrument where you could actually tune into it or tune out of it.
Okay.
Like it's not in your face.
Right.
You know what I mean? It has a mellow sound. And as I say, in a full steel band, you know, with a whole bunch of them playing, you get a real, you know, solid sound.
I bet.
And, you know, it's actually, when they started out with it, it had to do with carnival.
Oh, really?
And carnival was 2 days before Ash Wednesday.
Okay.
Like we were basically Catholic in the Caribbean there. They had this big carnival festival, which was wearing costume and street dancing. So they used to dance to the sound of the steel drums.
And I guess these must have been on wheels or something, because I can't imagine carrying
Well,
them, playing
no,
them.
back
no?
then, when they started off, they used to have a strap and it used to be around your neck.
Okay.
So the fellas were playing, they used to only play one bass at that time. And that would be like a big barrel. So he, at the end of the day, he would be real tired.
I bet he would be. It's a good workout. Well,
But it's all changed since then to now.
Yeah.
Like they're on floats and they get pulled and that's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
that's beautiful. Would you do us the honor of playing us a song, and I'll go pour myself a drink?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, little calypso out of Barbados now.
Clyde, thank you so much for coming and sharing your amazing talent with us. I don't know about you all, but I feel like I have gone down to the islands, I have relaxed, and I have gotten some sun. So thank you so much for joining us.
Now you need a rum.
Now I need a rum. This is true. That's a whole other
Yeah,
episode.
it was a pleasure for me to be here today. So
Thank you so much. We appreciate your talents and teaching us.
thank you very much.
And for not kicking me out of the band. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was great to have you. Stay tuned to all of our channels for the Folklorama at Home, the virtual experience, to find out what's happening next at folklorama.ca. Have a great night.